Hello, everyone. Welcome to what's so funny? Welcome to another edition of Empowering Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm Glenn Harper.
Julie Smith.
What's so funny? Am I a comedian today?
Well, I didn't really know it was going to come out because we're going to try something a little different.
Do you think I know what's going to happen today?
That's why I was laughing.
Well, we're going to mix it up a little bit today, and we're going to do a little living and fast forward as an entrepreneur's journey. What's it like in real life, not work life? What is the other things that one must deal with? And of course, this week, most of the world is, at least the U.S., is going back to school. What does that mean in an entrepreneur's journey? What's the pros and cons, and what does that look like?
You mean we're going to allow people to take like a peek behind the curtain here? Like things that are in our life that are happening that we believe everybody can relate to?
I think everybody's going to relate to it, and there's going to be some fun stuff to talk about. There's going to be some ironic things to talk about, but most of the time, these things are real, and maybe you don't even know they're happening, but we're going to try to bring them to the attention.
So the whole back to school thing, for me as a working mom,
entrepreneur,
however you want to phrase it, of responsibilities, I love routine and schedule. So I thrive in that environment. So the summer environment to me is chaotic and hectic, and I'm ready for it to end. Not the summer part, right? But the kids going to school part.
It's the wild, wild west because you're trying to spend the quality time with the kids. You're trying to do everything, plus you're trying to work, plus the kids. Everybody's got needs. There's no schedule. They're coming, sleeping in, getting up late. How does that affect your lifestyle? As an entrepreneur, we're very good at schedule and planning things. It's impossible in the summer months when you have kids.
Well, and my poor kids get an education and going to the office. So it's like, you get them up, you get them going, you allow them to do what we do at home. And then we got to go to the office, kids, some of the days some things have to happen.
Well, just think, 20 years from now, they'll be on a podcast about how they got started as an entrepreneur. And like, I remember watching my mom do this. So it's all good. It's all good life lessons.
Yeah, no, it's a great educational thing. It creates a little more angst, I think, for the moms out there that are trying to multitask, I guess, in their world, and what that means for those 3 months or 2 months or 1 month, whatever it is that you have your summer vacation. What does that mean to be able to achieve both, right? And I think when kids are in school, it's a lot easier for moms to back into what does that look like? What time do I have? How do I get all of that done? Like, I keep saying, like, if you give a busy mom 4,000 things to do, they'll figure out how to do them. You give someone who's not in that realm 4,000 things to do, and they're like excited they got 1,000, and we're like, wait, what about the other 3,000 that had to get done? So,
well, the good news is, as a dudes never worry about that stuff. Everything just kind of always works out, which is important to note. So whatever the reason is, the chicks got to deal with that. The moms, because there's so much detail that has to happen, and dudes, that's not what we do. We're just there to support and do the things we're supposed to do. But it is nice to see everybody get on the routine. I think the hardest part, we think it's routine, right? But there's always going to be an unexpected. The school's closed, there's a holiday, there's a kid gets sick. The anxiety, I remember when I was writing notes to the teacher is, how do you spell diarrhea? So we just would say upset stomach.
Oh my gosh.
And so that was the biggest stress, is how do you get the get out of jail free card for your kid being sick? Today, I think you just send an email and you don't have to be specific. Is that how it works?
It's just an email.
HIPAA got crazy anymore.
But I also think, that what comes with school is all these activities, right?
Oh, before, during, after.
Yeah. And so how do you schedule those and make sure that you're able to achieve all the things, right?
That's probably one of the big things that's happening today is the entrepreneurs, as high achieving people, they expect a lot of their kids. And as they expect a lot of their kids, that usually means keep them busy, keep them activities, keep them those things. Well, that's a big, huge commitment. And they're so busy keeping people busy, they don't have time to just kind of hang out and be kids. But if you don't keep them busy, they're probably going to get in trouble, and you can't have that. So you put them on sports, you put them in things that help them do better, and those things help develop your kids even better than they would have. Either they're working or they're in athletics, or some sort of, band or whatever that is, that they have to have a discipline.
Well, and I think that's a whole nother podcast, which is, I hope someone's taking notes here of, kids in athletics and what does that turn into as an adult. But you're right. I think kids are a lot busier these days than, maybe when you and I grew up. But I definitely think it breeds confidence too for them, is, knowing and achieving what they can and being delved into all of that. But as a mom, it is I want to turn on my Uber light and earn some money for all those trips back and forth to the practice field, to the school, to this, to that. And, I think I'm going to laugh about something as I'm literally visualizing my life in that is I got a gift as a desk in my car because my car has Wi-Fi. And so I can whip out my iPad while the kids are or I'm in between things and I can get some work done. And I think as moms, that's just how we think is there's no dead time. How do we make this work? Well, for me, making it work is maybe responding to the 100 emails in my inbox between 6 and 7 while someone's at soccer practice.
Yeah, that's another struggle. As dudes, we're probably not going to do those things. We'll probably do calls, but we're just sitting there. We're going to just veg out and watch and shut our brain off. Chicks, you got to keep it busy. And it's all about that high efficiency. And again, there's lots of entrepreneurs that probably use that time wisely, but most of the times dudes just are going to zone out because we need that time and we don't get that time. So just watching your kid compete and enjoy the moment, a dude can do that. It's really hard for chicks sometimes to do that because the list is never ending.
Right. But I think, also as we talk about routine and schedule, I think for me, it's being able to back into when do I have that working time. So even as the kids are super busy in activities, they're in school, I at least know the time frame in which I can log on to do some work or I can schedule calls or whatever that is. I at least have that time frame built out once school's back in session and all the activities are back up.
Right. It's like if you're not as an entrepreneur, we all know there's schedules, there's timings, and there's when you're going to do it. But like if you don't work out at like 5 a.m. or 4:30 in the morning, how can you possibly do that if you're trying to run a business, to keep people where they need to be, take care of kids, take care of spouse? Like, how do you do it? There's only one time you can do it. But if the kids are sleeping in, you can't get out of the house to go do what you need to do. They got practice afterwards. Like, it's going to help you as an entrepreneur really prioritize those things you have to do, the self-time, the study time, the learning part, the athletic part to get work out because you got to get rid of stress somehow. And then ultimately try to be the best parent you can be and then try to be there for your team, for the office.
So I think the takeaway is, for us, I think we're excited about school being back in session. For me, I'm really excited for that routine and schedule. That's the environment that I thrive in, and to be able to back into when those calls can happen. When can I log in? What can everybody kind of expect? I'm the curtain's going to close on the wild, wild west here for the next few months.
Which is sad because like the pool isn't even closed yet. But
it's on restricted hours.
This is true too. So again, I think everybody gets excited. We were talking a little bit about school being more year-round and just have breaks versus having a full-time summer. I don't know. I'm just old school. I just think summertime should be about being a kid and not have to worry about anything. But today's environment, you kind of got to do things if you want to get ahead because somebody else is working harder.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Well, hopefully those are some good thoughts to have as entrepreneurs going back to school. Don't forget, back to college, make sure you're using the 529 and the Coverdale educations, and the kids, make sure you can take your 529 for some of the schools that are doing for private schools. Don't forget about the cool tax things you can do, which is important. And hopefully this resonates with some of you. So until the next time, living fast forward, the Empowering Entrepreneurs podcast. I'm Glenn Harper.
Julie Smith.
We'll see you.